Welcome to another VIC Weekly News Wrap-Up. I am your host, Cynthia Graham. And this week we've had a full news cycle here at the Consortium.com, and we'll get right into it. Of course, first up, great news over there at Juan Luis Hospital. CMS extended its deadline. It gave the hospital an extended deadline to sort of get its house in order. CMS had initially planned to withdraw its relationship with the hospital on October 9th, which was yesterday, Thursday. But it's given some time up until November 20th, again, to help Juan Luis Hospital have some extra time to sort of pull some things together and correct some of the issues the hospital has had over the last several years. So great news there at Juan Luis. Also this week, the Board of Trustees for the University of the Virgin Islands gave its final vote on where its two components for the medical school that will be coming to the territory, where those two components will be constructed. And the final vote is St. Croix will have the simulation center, and the classrooms for the medical school will be built on St. Thomas. Again, it's one medical school. This is what Dr. Hall, the university president, is saying. One medical school in the Virgin Islands with two components: simulation center on St. Croix, classrooms on St. Thomas. So that's a final vote. So please, of course, check out that story and the other story on CMS on VI Consortium. And of course, top of the week as well. Earlier this week, Government House issued a release that encouraging business owners to pay up on their taxes or risk being exposed. So, you know, I think that struck a chord with a lot of people in our audience. Many of you certainly commented very strongly about that approach, sort of pay up or risk being shamed publicly. So that story is on our website. Be sure to check it out. And up next, Mr. Ernest Gilbert will be joining me to discuss a very big story that the VI Consortium broke this week, and to find out a little bit more about it and to give some important analysis. And also, Ernest had a big interview this week, and we'll be actually playing that interview today right here on VIConsortium.com. So stick with us. We'll be right back. Okay, and welcome back. I am now joined by Ernest Gilbert again for another week of analysis on one of our big stories. Hi, Ernest.
Hello.
Hi. Nedra Dodds.
Yes, amazing.
This week, VI Consortium broke a story there at the Juan Luis Hospital. We found some information, or we received information through our tip line.
Yes. That
there was an employee or a contract worker at the hospital who had medical license stripped.
Yes.
Or rather suspended.
Yeah.
We want to use the correct word. Suspended in the state of Georgia.
Yes.
Due to connections to two patient deaths.
Yes.
And that person somehow has found their way to Juan Luis Hospital.
Yes.
And was working there. We broke that story, and the rest is history.
Everything is, everything.
Tell us about it.
An amazing story. I remember when we hit publish, it was an amazing feeling just to see what, the reception would be. And obviously the people of the Virgin Islands are very much displeased with it, with what went on, especially in the state that we are now with CMS, allowing us some time to get our house in order. And here you have this situation with Nedra Dodds, a contract worker for Juan Luis, who is in some serious trouble in the state of Georgia. And so it unraveled, and before we knew it, the CEO of the hospital said he had terminated the contract a few days before.
we broke our story on October 6th.
Yes.
That was Monday of this week.
Yeah.
And then later that night, the same night we broke the story,
yes.
we received a prepared statement from the hospital stating that Nedra Dodds had been terminated on that Saturday,
yeah.
2 days prior. What do you make of that?
I don't know. I mean, you know, getting fired on a Saturday, I just don't know. You know, that's what he said. But, you know, obviously some folk thought it to be a bit suspicious. And, you know, you look in the comment section, people were like, just admit it. She was fired after, you know, the story broke, after it became public. But according to the CEO, the termination happened the Saturday prior. So
Nedra Dodds, again, she's a former physician. Her license has been suspended. She was not seeing patients at Juan Luis. I do
right.
want to make that clear.
Right.
She was brought in on an administrative
yes.
role, kind of functioning, as the CEO said,
yes.
to improve customer service at
yes.
the hospital. Again, this person is named in 2 patient deaths
yeah.
at her practice in Georgia.
In Georgia, yeah.
So I think the people are enraged.
Definitely.
Why? Tell us why. Why does that scenario of this person coming in to help out with customer service with such a questionable background,
yeah.
why is that enraging?
It's enraging to the people because they've seen it over and over and over again in our community. You know, this lapse of accountability, this do as you please, this backdoor deals people perceive is going on. And so immediately the people pounced. They were like, you know, here we go again. This time, however, with what the hospital's facing, the rage, you know, it was stronger. People started, you know, just sharing stuff, you know, making it known that, you know, she needs to go. People need to be held accountable. Folk need to resign, and that sentiment is strong even today. And so, because the story, it hasn't faded at all. And we had a couple follow-up stories, and it is still hot. People still want to know. So Nedra Dodds, I think that story continues on the VI Consortium.
Absolutely, and we have much more to bring on that.
Yes.
Last thing, you had a big interview this week. You interviewed Donna Christensen, our current delegate to Congress and
yes.
gubernatorial candidate.
Yes.
Tell us about your big story.
Yeah, amazing story. Of course, interviewed the delegate to Congress in Fredericksburg, the fort down there. An amazing interview. It all encompasses like what I like to call, because she shared a lot. And we're looking forward to it. It's going to be on our website today. Mm-hmm. A lot of information in there, and I think the people will be pleased. They'll get an overall view as to what to expect if she is elected the next governor of the Virgin Islands. And of course, we're going to be doing this with all the other gubernatorial candidates, from Kenneth Mapp to Mona Barnes and to Soraya Diaz-Coffield. And so look forward to more big interviews on the VI Consortium.
Excellent, excellent. Always fun, always good to have you here, Ernest.
Yes, thank you.
And so please check out all of these stories right here on viconsortium.com. I am Cynthia Graham.
Ernest Gilbert.
And we will be back next week. We'll see you then.